Well, Utah Republican Senator Mitt Romney has decided to support his party's effort to subpoena documents and testimony in the Hunter Biden Burisma investigation. You know, a spokesperson saying the senator did receive assurances that witnesses in this investigation will be interviewed behind closed doors. Like that will prevent any leaks in Washington. You know, the place is a sieve. James Hohmann, national political correspondent for The Washington Post, author of the Daily 202, joins us. I mean, you know, behind closed doors, you know, we're going to read everything on the front page of the newspaper, but why?
Hopefully the Washington Post.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure first. Why did they change their heart, though, do you think? I mean, look, the senator first thought that the Republican investigation of Hunter, he said, appeared political, but now he's gotten this reassurance.
Yeah, Eric, I do think, you know, I think Ron Johnson was able to persuade Senator Romney that there is information to be gleaned. The subpoena that they're going to vote on Wednesday for is for a firm, an American-based firm that was doing work for Burisma. That firm has indicated a willingness to cooperate with the Senate investigation and to turn over documents, but they're subject to a non-disclosure agreement, and so they can't do so without a subpoena. So I think part of what persuaded Romney was, look, they're willing to cooperate. They want to talk and participate in this probe. Let's turn over these rocks and see what's there. And there is a lot of pressure inside the conference. You know, Senator Romney has, I think, gotten less heat than he expected for voting to convict the president last month. But he still is a member of the Republican conference. He still wants to maintain those relationships and to kind of get along with other members of the Senate Homeland Security Committee that Johnson chairs. And so I think that's part of it, once he got those reassurances, is to not be seen as overly antagonistic toward his GOP colleagues.
Do you think then in the back of his mind, you know, he's making up a little bit for that conviction on abuse of power against the president in the impeachment?
You never want to put someone on the couch, Eric, but I do think he wants to be part of the team. I don't think that the vote last month was easy for him. I don't think he wanted to vote to convict the president. He felt sort of called. It was, you know, but it was not. He was trying to get to know. I really do believe. And so he ultimately, you know, he was the Republican nominee for president 8 years ago. He's someone who wants to be on the team and on the reservation.
And what about the investigation itself? You know, Democrats say that it's a political scam. Republicans, the president especially, you know, condemning Joe Biden, potentially his opponent. Not only that, but Hunter Biden, as well as the Biden family, the former vice president's brother and others. Would this investigation, is it legitimate? Are there legitimate questions here? Of course, Mr. Biden has said that they've done nothing wrong.
Right, and there's been no evidence uncovered that Joe Biden did anything wrong. Even, you know, the argument is that Hunter Biden, that there was some kind of conflict of interest. What the president said on Hannity the other night was, what did they get for their money? The president saying he's going to make it a major issue. I have no doubt that he will. As you know, Democrats say, it's interesting that Republicans on Capitol Hill seem sort of uninterested in Biden for those couple weeks when it looked like his campaign was functionally over. And then as soon as he does so well in South Carolina, and then on Super Tuesday, all of a sudden there's this fresh interest. It was interesting the other night, on Tuesday night, Biden, one of the most triumphant nights of his political career, was in Los Angeles for his rally. Hunter Biden lives just a few miles away with his new wife from where the former vice president's rally was not there. Several members of the Biden family on stage, Hunter Biden nowhere to be seen. What will be interesting is how the Biden campaign messages around these attacks. There's no indication that they're going to kind of change their posture, which is to say this is just, you know, politics and being very dismissive of it and trying not to get bogged down in the details of what the vice president exactly did.
Well, they may not have any choice. I mean, the Republicans and President Trump, his campaign's certainly going to go after all that with guns blazing. Here's the former vice president recently defending his son.
Look, my son did nothing wrong. I did nothing wrong. I carried out the policy of the United States government in rooting out corruption in Ukraine. And that's what we should be focusing on. And what I wanted to make a point about, and my son's statement speaks for itself. I never discussed a single thing with my son about anything having to do with Ukraine. No one has indicated I have. We've always kept everything separate.
How much traction, finally, do you think this will get during the campaign?
I think, you know, the way the president sees it, he wants it to sort of be this cloud over Biden, and that it could inoculate the president somewhat from criticisms of his own potential conflicts of interest. I feel like people are kind of, I've talked to some Republican strategists, including one earlier today, who doesn't think at the end of the day this is going to move a lot of votes. This isn't going to, people aren't going to not vote for Joe Biden because of questions about Ukraine. If they have concerns about it, they're probably going to support the president's reelection anyway. But I think it is one of those things, it's about casting doubt. And we don't know what the investigation could or won't turn over, but I think that just the fact that it's there, this is now, I think, going to end up becoming more of a back burner issue just because it did get so entangled with impeachment and the waters did get so muddied.
Yeah, and we've got these other issues of the economy and coronavirus,
Right.
of course, have just taken over a lot of the dialogue. So we'll see, and we'll see what they turn up, if anything. James
That's a great
Hohmann,
point.
Washington Post. Good to see you. Thanks, James.
Thanks, Eric.
Of course.